Thanks for coming. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, follow, all the above, depending on where you're on. We're streaming from YouTube and Rumble. I hope all of my freedom-loving patriots are having the best Saturday with their loved ones. Today, we're reacting to Marjorie Taylor Greene. She has been taking a lot of hate from the conservatives, the neocons, the Israel First lobbyist supporters, because she is saying no more support for all these other countries. We need to focus on America and America interests. And if you are not one of those people, then you are not a Republican. That's just how I think. I agree with her. And it seems like a lot of our own side on the right are waking up to Israel's hold on our government, including a story I covered the other day where there was a sting operation in Vegas and the Trump administration sadly let go one of the cybersecurity top officials of Israel who was caught in this pedo sting operation, and they just let him go. No charges, no nothing. And it seems like they are trying to cover it up now and not speak about it, but we are going to continue to speak about it. Anyways, she just did an interview with Megyn Kelly, I believe this was 2 days ago, and she talks about the truth about Aipac and the Israel lobby, and we're going to check it out together. Again, please like, comment, share, subscribe, follow, all the above. Let's get it started, y'all.
On Israel and all that, but I've been very pro-Israel, and I've been very defensive of their right to defend themselves in this nightmare.
Of course.
And I've been very defensive of American Jews on campuses who are just being harassed. It's ridiculous.
Of course.
But I have absolutely no skin whatsoever in defending any lobbyist group, including Aipac.
Right.
So I would love to know what they do to get the loyalty of politicians, because I will say I have had multiple reach outs to me, both from friends and from connected people in DC, begging me to go to Israel with them. And I have said no every time.
Of course.
I'm just too busy. I have 3 kids. I have a full-time job. I'm not doing it. But lately it seems like it's coming to be even more, because I feel like there's a contingent of people who are worried that they're losing me. And I've said that you're not losing. I'm not on Hamas's side.
No.
And anytime you speak the slightest about Israel and critique them, they will call you an anti-Semite or call you anti-Semitic just for questioning Israel's and like what they are doing in their hold on our government. That card has been so overplayed that we the people are just done with it. Left, right, it doesn't matter. We are done with it. Just because you question a country that may be our ally, even though I don't think they are, doesn't make you an anti-Semite. That's not the definition of it. Hey, Sharon, I hope you're having a great day. I'm doing good. Just injured my ankle, so I'm off my foot today, but unfortunately in a lot of pain, but it is doing a little better.
God, no. Nobody's on Hamas's side.
But it's been a while now that this has been going on.
Right.
And we're getting more involved with the Iranian bombing and so on.
Sure.
And my own feelings are, I'm looking at Israel in a different way right now than I was on 10/8, that's for sure, of 23.
Right.
And I can feel the pressure being slightly ratcheted up, like you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to. And I can see people like you, like Tucker, who I know Tucker. I've known him for years. And I've seen you in your early career. I know you have nothing against Israel.
Oh, gosh, no.
Never mind Jews. Yeah. That's all a lie. But,
right.
And I see the beatdowns coming. Like, you're not allowed. Like, you have to stay right on this lily pad.
Yes.
And you cannot jump to another neighboring lily pad because it could take you all the way down the river.
My opinion is I don't care for any other country. I'm America first. I don't care about supporting no one. We should not be spending a damn dime on any country besides America and our interests. That is truly what America first is. Not any other country, ally, foe. It does not matter to me.
Away.
That's
so
right.
I'm very interested in this dynamic.
Yeah. Well, I find it fascinating that you're getting asked more and more and more. I've been asked more and more and more. Well, you're a person of very big influence. You've got a big voice. You've got a large audience. They also take a lot of influencers. They invite tons of influencers.
Many of whom have invited me. Like, we're all going together. And will you come? Like, they seem to be coming at me from a number of ways, which only really kind of raises my hackles. Like, I'm not going. I'm going to stay right here. I can cover this conflict from here. And I don't wish to be wooed by any side. I actually don't wish to be
persuaded. Have you been invited by any other foreign country?
No.
Okay. That's the part, right? So we have tons of
that's red flag. That should be a red flag right there. If you were invited from a foreign country while you're an American, shouldn't that be a red flag? I would think that would be a red flag. They're taking you there to convince you of something. So if you have to be convinced without just originally, or I can't even think what I'm trying to say. You guys know what I mean, though.
Lobbyists and foreign countries lobbyists that come to Washington, D.C. Pretty much every country has some sort of representative. They have an ambassador they send to Washington. It's naturally in their interest. We can understand that. They also are required to register under FARA. It's a law. They have to register as a foreign agent, a foreign lobbyist. That is required. It's extremely important. Here's the difference with AIPAC. AIPAC is not registered under FARA, under this law that requires anyone coming to lobby a member of Congress or a senator or department of the government and the federal government on behalf of another country. So AIPAC argues, oh, but we're Americans. Yes, they are Americans, but they are coming to Congress and to the federal government asking on behalf of the country of Israel. And I fully agree with you, Megyn. We are not against Israel. We are all for their right to defend themselves, just as we are for any Jewish person on campus. Just as I think we could talk about young white males in high school that are constantly getting beat up.
Yeah.
Guess what? They should have a right to defend themselves too. And people should stand up for them as well. We think anybody that is a victim should be able to defend themselves. However, Israel is the only country I know of that has some sort of incredible influence and control over nearly every single one of my colleagues. And
I want to know why. We have to stop dancing around it. It is exactly because of Epstein. Mossad, the Israel CIA intelligence, them mixed with our intelligence, our CIA, they are the ones that ran these blackmail operations with Epstein, even with Diddy. I think it's all tied to the same exact people. Intelligence, blackmail politicians, blackmail musicians, actresses, actors, and then they can get you to say or do whatever they want you to. They own you because they have you on camera committing acts against children. And that is what it all comes down to. It's control. And as we know, Ghislaine Maxwell, her and her father were Mossad. That's CIA intelligence for Israel. It's already been exposed. It's not hard to find. So it is very infuriating as a fellow Trump supporter that they continue to play stupid and act like they did not work with any intelligence overseas when we know that's just a fact. They're playing that like we're stupid, like we don't know the obvious answer, which is our CIA, Israel CIA, they run the show. And it's really that simple. It is. I don't know how to explain it. And that doesn't make you anti-Semitic for saying that.
I mean, I believe it. Just given the amount of reach out I've had in this position, and I don't vote on anything, And if I had taken money, I could see them really thinking that they had a right to control my speech or, my positions, which is why I never have. Of course, I mean, in what context would I? I don't take advertising from, random people.
Yeah.
Like I always say, I have Genucel, whose cosmetics are really nice.
We love good cosmetics.
Yeah, but I can't be bought by a special interest group. But I can see it because, look, no one wants to feel like their position has been bought and paid for. But these politicians, they have. And so I can see why AIPAC would get mad if these politicians then turned on them and didn't support. It's like, what did my 3,800 times 3 get me if you're not going to vote for my issues?
Exactly. Because AIPAC are Americans. Therefore, they can legally donate.
Let me tell you something. Let me put you guys on game as well. Did you guys know that Kash Patel, who was my favorite pick under Trump's administration, this recent one, his girlfriend, wife, whatever you call her, works for Mossad. Also, Dan Bongino, huge fan of him as well. Who was the number one thing that he wanted to protect and go to if he had a chance to? Israel. All these people are Israel first. And again, that's just me pointing out the truth. Israel runs our whole government. They don't run America's interests. They run what's best for Israel. It's crazy. And if you would have told me this 3 to 6 months ago, I thought Israel was their number one ally. But if you did actually dig into it and don't buy the anti-Semitic card and actually look into it yourself, for example, X, you can find plenty of information about the history of Mossad, their ties, their hold on our politicians. It's pretty crazy. At first, I would have said China is our number one hold when it comes to bribing our politicians and having control over them. But when I actually looked into it, Israel takes the cake by a long shot. Like, it's not even close. And you're supposed to be considered like you're supposed to register as a FARA if you are another country pushing our politicians, but they're the only country that doesn't have to. Why do you think that is? Because they are the ones that ran the blackmail operations, the pedophile rings, using Epstein and Maxwell. And I do think that Diddy and the music industry are also tied with these people as well.
Members of Congress and senators. So let's talk about how that works. Aipac takes every single that they can, freshman member of Congress or first year in Congress, they take them on a very special trip to Israel in August. August is our recess. It's our month-long district work period. That's
Dems and Republicans, or just Republicans?
They take both of them. Oh. Yes. And they invite pretty much everyone, to my knowledge. So they take them on this trip to Israel. I guess they go on tours all around. I didn't go, so I don't know what they do there, but they take them on tours. Like the pictures we've seen recently of the speaker and other members of Congress at the Wailing Wall.
They've all gone.
They've all gone.
See them all.
And they wear the kippah. Mm-hmm. And even though they're Christians, they're not Jewish, but yet they're adorning Jewish attire. And they're at these Jewish religious sites. Mm-hmm. Then they also meet with different members of the Israeli government. Now, we got to recognize the Israeli government is secular. This is not the biblical Israel. It is the secular government of Israel. And so they meet with their members of all throughout their government, and the prime minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, meets with them. And so they've done that trip already this month. The new freshmen and members of our leadership all went and they did that trip. Here's what else they do. Aipac takes influencers. They take really big people like you. They want you to come over there. They want to pull you in because they want to pull you on their side. And why is that? Okay. For members of Congress, every single year, annually, Israel receives, and we have to vote on it. It's a yes or no vote, $3.8 billion in funding for Israel. Now, what does that money mean? Well, they'll say, "Oh, well, this is for Israel. It's them to be able to defend themselves. They're the only democracy in the Middle East. Yep. They're constantly under attack. They're surrounded by their enemies who wants to annihilate them."
That's all true.
Sure, we're not arguing those points. However, let's flip over and look at, what does this mean? Number one, Israel is doing so well with their economy, and I'm excited for them. This is a big deal. I wish we were doing this good.
Yep.
We're $37 trillion in debt. Israel is less than $400 billion in debt. Less than. If you're an Israeli citizen, you have government-funded healthcare and you have government-funded college.
Not to mention that we send Israel more money than any other country. Like, I believe we sent them billions already this year alone. Trump's administration, who I voted for, has sent them billions in funds out of our taxpayer funds. It's ridiculous.
So why is America having to give Israel $3.8 billion? If they're doing so great and they're funding healthcare and college, and their government is their economy is doing so well and their tax revenue is so good that they're less than $400 billion in debt, why is dead broke America having to send $3.8 billion? Well, then they argue back and they go, "Oh, but this helps America's economy." Well, how is that? Tell me how it helps. Okay, well, because we buy money from your defense contractors. Although guess what? This is really interesting. We give a ton of money to all these foreign countries. And if it's military aid, they're required to purchase weapons from our defense contractors. Except Israel is the only one with an exception. They don't have to buy from our American defense contractors. They can use that money to buy from Israeli defense contractors.
Oh, wow.
So there's a funny little exception, just like the same exception that Israel has, that this just came from Judge McFadden. He just had a ruling that you can burn any flag in the United States of America, and including our own American flag, except you can't burn the Israeli flag in America.
Who said that?
Judge McFadden.
In what context?
In his court. It just happened.
Well, that's not going to be upheld.
Shouldn't be.
That's a violation of the First Amendment, blatant, and it will be struck down.
I'm telling you, Israel runs the show in our government. Democrat, Republican, it doesn't matter. And this is why it's such infuriating when it comes to Trump, because he's allowing this shit to happen. And now they're talking about arresting citizens who talk bad about Israel. Like, that's a real thing. Look into it.
As soon as it goes up on appeal. What a ridiculous notion.
Should be. He said in what he wrote is that the Israeli flag, it's an identity, a race, and it would be a hate crime. Yeah.
Wrong.
Yes.
Wrong. That's getting struck
But
down.
not the American flag.
But I see why you're raising it, because I'm picturing, look, I have a lot of very, very close friends who are Jewish, who are very big supporters of Israel. And some faction of them will say, like, well, why would you platform an MTG? She's definitely gone anti-Israel. And I don't care whether you're anti-Israel or not. Any anti-Israel people are welcome here. Of
course,
you're allowed to have that view. It's a country that's involved in a war, and you don't have to be pro any country in order to come here. But I know you're not.
I'm not anti.
I know you're not.
Yeah.
But I am also sensing, I discussed this with Charlie Kirk recently, how we're just getting to a place now. The more you tell me I can't talk to somebody or about something, the more I'm guaranteed going to do it. No one owns me. And I will talk about it, and I will hear you out. And I want to hear why you're having this kind of experience times 10,000, my little lily pad, and you're way down there, and there I can see you getting rained down on. And I don't like it, Marjorie. I have to tell you, I don't like it, because this is America. You're allowed to have your view. Israel's not America. They're a friend to America, but they're not America.
No.
And we do have areas in which we have divergent interests. And it is our obligation, and yours especially as a representative, to say when you see a divergence you cannot reconcile,
right,
where you got to choose one.
Yes.
Right? Like, that's what I see happening to you. So what happened? How did you find yourself in this place? Because you stopped voting for funding for the Israel war?
Yeah, it was easy for me. I'm a business owner. So right now, I feel like I'm part of a board of 435 members.
Yeah, and I like to point something out, by the way. She is truly America first. 1, 2, Trump is literally promoting these warmonger neocons like Mark Levin, who is attacking Marjorie Taylor Greene because she just wants to fund America, and he is 100% Israel first. So because she doesn't want to fund Israel's war anymore because they can take care of themselves, it has nothing to do with us, Gaza, Israel. He is attacking people and voters, Americans, and saying they need to be arrested because they do not support Israel and because they want to stick to just America first policy and politics. That is who Trump has been pushing big time lately. He's been on his show. He's promoted Mark Levin's new book. Also, neocon warmonger, the king himself, Lindsey Graham, Trump is promoting him too. He is campaigning for him. He is telling the people of America who cannot stand Lindsey Graham to vote for him. So the number one supporters of Israel, Trump is endorsing, Trump is supporting, and Trump is promoting. That's not America first at all. Very disappointed in Trump about that.
Congress, where we should.
And that's the difference between me and Democrats. I'm going to call my side out if they're in the wrong. That's what people don't tend to believe. Like, I don't get it how you can overlook this. Oh, Trump shut down the border. He's bringing in billions from tariffs. So because he's doing some good things, those are really good things, I'd like to say. Because he's doing those good things, I'm going to overlook everything Israel's doing. I'm going to overlook that Trump is covering for the pedophiles that ran the Epstein files, who are still in power in our government currently right now, because Israel owns us. And it's just like a middle finger to every person who voted for Trump. It's a middle finger to our face, because if you remember, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, they told us to not believe anything in regards to what we were told under the last administration about Epstein. Keep questioning, keep not believing, keep asking more questions. Don't believe anything you're being told. And then what happens the minute they come in, they're shown some documents, probably threatened by CIA intelligence, Israel intelligence, and then they do exactly what they told us not to believe years ago. Also, we still have no high-profile arrests. I'm still waiting. I mean, you have Obama on treason. He literally invented the Russia hoax. Tulsi Gabbard exposed that, over a month ago, and 0 people have been arrested. How about the Clintons? We know they have a history of knocking and killing people. They are involved with Epstein. They were literally the ones involved with Epstein the most. And still, Trump hasn't arrested a single person in those Epstein documents. I believe yesterday he was asked about Epstein, and he said it's a Democrat hoax. Yet his own kids, his own cabinet members ran on getting these pedophiles for years now. And the minute we get this administration in, they flip their script completely. So I'm gonna call him out. It doesn't matter if I voted for him. You look fake as fuck, Trump. Fucking do what you say you're gonna do. Again, he's doing good stuff, but I'm never going to forget about these high politicians in power that are pedophiles that are still walking free till this day. That is very, very infuriating.
Act like an executive board of a company. And I feel like our company, the United States of America's federal government, is a company that has sirens blaring, and we are on the verge of literally imploding and going out of business.
Bankruptcy, yeah.
Massively. I also pay a lot of attention to our economy. Being a business owner in the construction industry, my success of my business for as long as I've run it rises and falls with the economy. And I'm very concerned. The cost of doing business is extremely high. The cost of living is extremely high. Insurance is completely out of control. Car, health, life insurance, business insurance, you name it.
Forget homeowners insurance. That's almost impossible to even find as an offering anywhere.
And if you're under 40, forget being able to buy a home.
Right.
They don't even have the hope
get a
of
job.
that.
I heard you and Tucker talking about how he was saying some 14 friends of his daughter, they all graduated, 3 out of 14 had jobs. I can see this in our kids are a little younger than college age now, but our friends, some of them got started earlier, and a lot of their kids are now graduating from college. Great colleges, smart kids, cannot find jobs.
This is so heartbreaking. So for me, I'm not anti-Israel. I'm not anti any country. I've turned radically and unapologetically for America, just flat out for America. I'm like, I'm sorry. We don't have time to fund what you're doing. No, we don't. You guys are doing great.
If we had the extra, totally.
No.
But we don't.
We don't have the money.
So what do we think
Bam. It's really that simple. Stop funding all these other countries' wars and let's start focusing on America. There's so many issues right now that's going on in America that we need to fix our own issues before we fix other countries' issues. So like I said, if Trump does something good, I'm going to talk about it. So as we know recently, or in the past week, here, let me get this started. Trump sent, I believe, the military out to D.C. to fix the crime crisis that's going on out there. And I see so many people that are actually in D.C. talking about it and talking about how it's really good right now, what's going on in D.C. And I want to see what the people of D.C. have got to say. So let's listen to what these two people have to say.
Amazing, isn't it? No murders in Washington, D.C. in a whole week. You see, folks, this is proof that if you have a commander-in-chief like Donald Trump that takes action, decisive action, you can secure the border and reduce crime. Now, he has just proven the left to be very weak. He has proven to the left that they won't crime and a loose border and just let everybody come in. Well, folks, it's proven. That's why you are afraid when Donald Trump came in and took over Washington, D.C., federalized it, came in there, took decisive action, and look what he's done. Making D.C. safe. You need to go into Chicago next because you mayors can't do your job. That's all I got to say today.
And I agree with that 100%. I just wish we were doing more of the promises that we were offered from the beginning. Example, Epstein. Example, high profile arrests. When are those coming? None of these governors, politicians are actually doing what Pam Bondi is telling them to do. Instead, she just writes these strongly worded messages, yet they do nothing to fix the issues. They ignore them and say they're going to fight against the Trump administration, and no arrests happen. So, I am for this. I am for sending military to fix the cities. A lot of Republicans, especially Nick Fuentes, who I came across and I absolutely love, but he is saying that this is like authoritarian and doesn't agree. And then his following the Groypers, they're supporting Newsom. Let me tell you, I live in California. The state looks like shit. He has ran that state into the gutter. So it looks like he's voting for him because he's only white, I guess. And as I said, I agree with about 90% of what Nick Fuentes says, but just to say you're going to vote for Newsom because he's white blows my mind, because his policy sucks. He's a demon lizard person, and nothing Newsom brings would benefit America. I mean, he can't even run a state properly, so why would we vote for him to be president? So that's probably one of the first critiques that I've had of Nick Fuentes that I don't agree with. But in regards to Israel and everything else, I do agree with him. And it's sad because if you look into his exposure about J.D. Vance, it would change your whole perspective of your feelings towards J.D. Vance. But here's another person. DC residents are actually being saved.
Not really any overt crime happening in DC. For the first time, there's not a bunch of murders. For the first time, there's not a bunch of gang violence. For the first time in many fucking decades, these people can actually go outside and they don't have to climb over homeless people. They don't have to hold their kids' hand and tell them to step around the shit and piss that the homeless leave on the fucking side of the road. That there aren't a bunch of people outside in the middle of the street drinking with their 40s and shit like that. Like there aren't a bunch of shell casings little kids have to walk over. Yes, finally, the ordinary residents of DC, the ordinary people like you and me, our community, can actually get a fucking break. These children can actually go outside. They're not going to get shot. They're not going to end up dead or on t-shirts. For the first time, their parents can take their hand and walk them to the park and not have to explicitly worry about them being shot up on the fucking block. Yes, I'm happy that DC is being taken over.
Also, we need to start doing this in all the liberal states, including my state of California, because let me tell you, it is a shithole. Not the whole state, but majority of the state. The fact that the Democrats are pushing Newsom for president when he can't even, again, control his own state, it's laughable. I don't think that Democrats will ever win another election. I do think we need to start deporting more people because they're up to some fuckery when it comes to the elections in California. As we know, I've said it in the past, they will lie about it. They don't require voter ID in the state of California. They didn't ask for one for me. They didn't ask for one for any of my family when we voted. So we need to start doing mass deportations of these criminals, illegals, pedophiles, human traffickers, so that we can make sure moving forward our elections are ran properly. Anyways, I'm probably going to be doing a video later. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Have a blessed day with you and your loved ones. Peace. Talk soon.